Hi everyone, this is another timeless reading that's for somebody out there. My intention is that this one will find the people it's meant for and at the right time. It's definitely not intended to be for everyone, so if the storyline that emerges is not resonating with you, it's probably not for you, or not for you at this point in time anyway. You can definitely still watch the whole reading. It's always an intention of mine that anyone who's drawn to one of my readings will gain something from it. Whether that's an insight, a bit of wisdom, or just the opportunity to see something from a different perspective. So if you happen to be here, I think you are meant to be here. At this point here is where we will pause the video just so we can intentionally send some love out into the universe. You can just send some loving energy, or you can do a little Ho'oponopono prayer with the 4 sentences. Thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, and please forgive me. If you are doing this, I truly appreciate it because I do feel like these ripples that we create can have a much bigger impact than any of us really realizes. So the time to pause the video is now. I will start the reading on the next slide. See you there. Okay, so this is the spread for this reading. Thank you to everyone who just did the love pause, so I truly appreciate it, as I said. Now, for anyone who's interested in the decks that I've used here, I will have them listed on a slide at the end of the reading. I've actually been feeling a little bit out of sorts lately, stressed, anxious, not sleeping, tired. And when I have been sleeping, I've had some extremely unusual dreams, so it's been pretty full on. I've even got some dark circles under my eyes now. So this is a noticeable shift from my normal state because I'm not normally someone who struggles with anxiety or sleep. And the funny thing is, it doesn't seem clear to me what's causing this. I was thinking it might relate to the astrological transits that are happening, but there's actually a part of me that's even wondered if this is some kind of psychic interference. And that's a nice way of saying psychic attack, I guess. I'm not really a paranoid person, but I just don't feel like this is coming from me because I've actually been through so many stressful experiences in my life without feeling this level of anxiety. And it's just weird to be feeling anxious when nothing's obviously wrong. And it seems like the things that normally work to calm me down don't really seem to be doing much at the moment. But anyway, I've just been praying to Spirit that I'll be guided to help me to find things that will help me recover. So I wasn't actually planning to do another reading until I was feeling a bit better. And so in the meantime, I was trying to do things that would change my energy. So I've been playing some board games with my children, Monopoly, Cluedo, Connect 4, and those have been a lot of fun. And I also got back into my card making supplies to make a couple of cards for upcoming birthdays in the family. That's something I used to do a lot, but I haven't done it for a while, so it was kind of fun to get back into playing with those supplies. And I think a lot of people think that having a break means doing nothing, but I always find that if you use the break to do some fun things, that actually does a better job of improving your mood and energy. And so that's probably the best way to recharge, in my opinion. I've just always found that doing nothing can actually make you feel more depressed because you feel like you're being unproductive and you're not accomplishing anything. So if you haven't tried it before, try adding a few pleasant diversions to your breaks. And I'm definitely not talking about overdoing it if you're feeling really tired, but a few fun, relaxing experiences will definitely help shift that heavy feeling that you might have. But anyway, as I was saying, I wasn't planning to do another reading, but then I got this urge to work with some magical decks, and it felt right to me. So this reading here is jumping in ahead of a couple of other spreads that I was planning to do. So I don't know when I'll get to those, but this reading obviously was meant to come first. I know this is a for somebody reading, but maybe I was needing a little bit of magic and whimsy as well to reset my energy. And I wonder if this was like Spirit's way of staging an intervention. But anyway, it might also be that some people need this message right now, and that's why that's happened. But anyway, let's get to it. The card at the bottom of the deck is the 4 of Cups, which is typically about someone who's feeling bored or frustrated with their life, and they're so focused on what they see as not right with their life that they're failing to see or appreciate something positive that's showing up in their life. In the traditional image, the person is focused on their 3 cups and they're not seeing the 4th cup. Now this card is illustrated somewhat differently. So this person is focused on something and they're actually not seeing 4 cups that have showed up for them. The 4 cups are actually behind their back. So if in the original image the 4th cup was something good, this person actually has 4 good things that they haven't noticed yet. And the way these 4 cups are drawn is also interesting. Each cup has wings and they're all sort of hovering behind this person. And they actually all have little hearts on them as well. So it actually makes me feel like these cups have just been quietly entering the scene and they're just waiting for this person to turn around and notice them. So I guess by the time this person turns around, there could even be a few more cups in the background for them to discover. And the fact that there are all these little hearts on these cups, I feel like these are cups of love. So the message here is that this person is actually much more loved than they appreciate at this point in time. And that's a lovely message. Now getting to the main spread, the card in the past position is the Hermit. And that definitely represents someone who has been in a solitary energy. They've been on their own, feeling like they don't want to engage that much with the external world. They might have been working through some of their past experiences, and they might actually have had a lot of bad experiences with others, and it's made them feel like they don't want to be close to other people. I feel like they've experienced a lot of disappointing relationships, people who've taken more from them than they've given back, people who haven't treated them well, people who've let them down when they needed support, and so on. And so eventually this person started to feel like they would be much better off just focusing on themselves and taking care of themselves rather than investing in connections with others. Now, I think that's probably an experience that a lot of people can relate to in real life. So, yeah. Now, the thing that I'm seeing in this card is that this character actually looks fairly content. They're standing on what looks like a raised platform, and while I don't normally get this from the Hermit card, I'm feeling an energy here of material stability with this image. I think this is someone who's doing okay on their own in a physical sense. The light they're carrying with them also looks like a bright star, and there's actually a little golden heart just above the star. And that seems to be what this person is looking at in this image. They're looking at this bright light. And there's also a dragonfly in this image, and to me that's a symbol of transcendence because dragonflies start their lives in water and then they evolve to being flying insects. So they're moving from the element of water, which we relate to emotion, into the element of air, and that also makes me think of emotional detachment. So I feel like this person has transcended the difficult experiences they've had in the past, and they've acquired the ability to live in a detached way. And this means that other people's behaviours just don't really upset them anymore. And I just got that other people's behaviours don't surprise them either. And part of that is related to their past experiences of people. So their perspective is that everyone has a shadow side and that it will show up eventually. So there's nothing about that is going to be surprising to them. Now, getting back to that light they've been focused on, I'm getting that the light actually represents something that they find emotionally and spiritually fulfilling. And given it's something that they're working on their own or moving towards on their own, it's making me feel like they have actually found their purpose in life. So this thing that they're being guided to follow is bringing light and meaning into their life. And that little heart being there tells me that they've found love in this purpose as well. And that's why they look so contented in this card. They're able to stand on their own in a material sense, but they've also found something that lights them up at a soul level. So it's making them feel good. And even though they are on their own, I don't think this person feels like they're missing anything in their life. And before I move on from this card, I should just say that the Hermit is a Virgo card, so that might be relevant for someone. The next card here is the Six of Swords, and it's in the present position. So this is a card of transition where someone is being carried from rough waters to calmer waters. Now, it sounds like, because this is in the present position, it sounds like this person is on their way to things getting a lot better for them. In the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith image, the people are in a boat and they look quite vulnerable, and the boat's being steered by someone else. And again, in this image, there's a sense that this person is navigating this transition quite gracefully because they're being carried by a bird that's a little bit swan-like in appearance. They look calm and confident, so it's definitely a different energy. I feel like this person isn't afraid or worried about where they're going. And I'm from a Hindu background, so this image also makes me think of the Hindu goddess Saraswati, who is associated with the swan and is sometimes shown traveling on a swan. And that's a lovely energy to have here because Saraswati is the goddess associated with knowledge, wisdom, and the creative arts. She's normally shown playing a veena, which is a traditional Indian string instrument, and it actually makes a beautiful sound. So you do check it out if you haven't heard it before. So maybe string instruments are also significant here. And she's also typically shown wearing a white sari, sitting on a white lotus. And all of this is just giving me the sense of grace and purity because of all the white things that are coming up, the white sari, the white lotus, and the white swan. So that's good energy. In the future position, we have the High Priestess, and this card is related to the moon, which rules the zodiac sign of Cancer and the 4th house in astrology. So it looks like this is what this person was being led towards when they were in that hermit energy. And the 6 of Swords transition has been carrying them towards this destiny. They were becoming the High Priestess, and that makes sense, doesn't it? So the High Priestess does tend to have that energy of aloofness, which is about emotional detachment. And she is highly psychic and intuitive. So that thing I was getting before about how this person isn't surprised by other people's behavior might actually have been an indication that those gifts are already present when they're in this when they were in this hermit energy. And this would also explain why they weren't really afraid of that transitional period either. They would have sensed that they were going the right way. And of course, the High Priestess is highly spiritually connected, and that too fits with how this person's spiritual purpose was the thing that was fulfilling them. The first oracle card here has unicorn energy, and that carries the energy of something unique, magical, and pure. And these are white unicorns, so again we have that message of purity and grace and innocence, I suppose. But the card is titled Friendship, and there are 2 unicorns on this card. It looks like even though this person has currently given up on other people, that will change when they start meeting other people who are just like them. And this card shows that even though this person's energy is rare, there are definitely other people like them out there. They're not the only unicorn in the world. And this is actually reminding me of the story of the ugly duckling a little bit. So I'm sure most of you know it, but that duckling grew up feeling like it didn't belong anywhere, and it was treated poorly by others because it was seen as ugly, and it accepted that experience of life as the truth. But then one day it discovered it had grown into a beautiful swan, and then it came across other swans, and it was only then that the swan experienced a different kind of life, one where it was accepted and it felt like it belonged. And where it had been seen as an ugly creature before, in its new form, it was actually seen as something beautiful and graceful. And I'm looking back to that bottom of the deck card because that scene with those loving energies gathering behind this person could well be like when those other swans saw this solitary swan and approached him because he was one of their kind. So that image there in the 4 of Cups card could well be that this person's tribe has started to notice them and they're coming closer, but this person obviously isn't aware of that just yet. But anyway, the unicorn card is titled Friendship, and it has the message, be with the ones who make you shine, who love you and really care. Keep those and let the others go. So this message is about being discerning about the connections that you enter into and invest in, and letting go of connections that aren't making you feel valued or cared for. And I feel like because this person is becoming like a beautiful, graceful swan, they're going to be drawing a lot of people's attention. So there will be a lot of people who want to be connected to them. And this is a reminder to them to be really discerning about who they let into their lives, because not everyone who appears to want to be their friend is actually going to turn out to be a genuine friend. So they need to find friends who are genuinely worthy of being in their inner circle. Again, getting back to Hinduism, there is a name for a spiritual master, Paramahamsa, and it relates to it translates to Supreme Swan. And that title is based on the fact that swans glide gracefully above the water, which is about detachment, which we've talked about already. But it's also said to relate to the fact that swans have the ability to separate milk from water. I think they have some special anatomical feature. And so that's why this Supreme Swan title, Paramahamsa, exists, because someone who's that spiritually elevated can also discern and identify what is meant for them. And of course, swans are also known to symbolize loyalty and devotion because they do tend to mate for life. So it's fascinating that swan energy is coming through so strongly in this reading. And we're definitely talking about swans from a lot of different angles, but I think the message overall is that this person's purity means that they will only have happy, lasting connections when they meet others who are like them, so similarly pure in spirit. So those are the kinds of connections this person needs. So they need to identify people who also have that same purity of spirit. And they really do have to just reject connections with people who are clearly not a match to them in that respect. Now, the second card here is a fairy blessing card, and it's titled A Blessing of a Light Touch. I did look at the guidebook for this one when I first pulled this card, and if you know Lucy Cavendish's work, the guidebook entries are always beautiful. Now, I definitely can't remember everything the guidebook said, but this blessing is about a new gift that this person is developing. And the blessing of a light touch is about someone who can gently and gracefully accomplish things with what seems to be very little effort. So they will not need to pressure or force or chase or plead or cajole or manipulate in order to make things happen. And I feel like this gift will mean they can simply express what they need or wish for, and the universe will respond by aligning them with the right people and experiences. So this gift grants the ability to gently and powerfully influence one's reality. And that's actually a really extraordinary gift when you think about it. So this is a blessing from the fairies, and I suspect it's one that can only be bestowed upon someone who has a pure spirit, because in anyone else's hands it would definitely be a power that would be abused. And I'm thinking of that quote, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So if this kind of power was given to someone who wasn't spiritually enlightened, they would more than likely become some kind of monster, because if they can make whatever they want happen, then obviously that's pretty dangerous. The last card does stand out a little bit because it's brighter in its colour scheme than the rest of the spread, and that's actually what I first noticed when I had all these cards out. It has a message that reminds me of the Ace of Pentacles. It reads, exciting news, satisfying projects, rewarding possibilities await me. With that message of the blessing of a light touch and the fact that these colours are so much brighter than the other cards, I'm feeling like this card is talking about what life is like for this person when that gift is integrated, because that gift will allow this person to easily manifest the reality they wish for. So this message of exciting news and satisfying projects and rewarding possibilities is really just evidence of this person manifesting the opportunities that they are wishing for, and they will do that fairly effortlessly from the sounds of it. And the other thing that struck me with this image is that it's the scene is kind of framed by this harp-shaped window. And I actually had a period in my life where I was seeing harps regularly, so I did have to go and look up what that meant, because I know it's a prominent symbol in Ireland, and it's even on the logo of the Guinness beer cans, if you've seen them. But from what I remember from looking it up, the harp has to do with a bridge between the physical and the spiritual world. And I'm just going to go look it up again and get back to you. So yeah, it is about beauty, harmony, the angelic realm, divine connection between heaven and earth. So I feel like that image being shown in that harp-shaped window is suggesting heaven on earth. So I feel like that's indicating that this person's earthly experience is going to be a more fifth dimensional experience in the future. It will feel peaceful, blissful, and abundant. Their energy will easily attract the things they want and need. Now, the harp here is also a little more unusual because it has a figurehead on it, and that reminds me of ships because they used to have figureheads on the bow. And the figurehead here is of an angel. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe it's just confirmation of a connection to the angelic realm. But I'm also thinking about how figurehead gets used to describe someone who is the public face of an organization or enterprise. So maybe that's something that's a possibility as well. The message on the card did speak of exciting shifts and rewarding possibilities. So I suppose it's possible that this person does get promoted into a role of prominence where they are easily recognizable to members of the public. And yeah, that's it for this reading. So if this message resonated for you, it sounds like good things are ahead for you, and that's fantastic. I have to say that I also really enjoyed doing this reading. It was a lovely, positive reading, and it was very rich in symbolism, which is something I always absolutely love. So I'm glad Spirit guided me to do this reading. And I'm just thinking like maybe it is a good idea for me to work with this magical realm for a while until I feel my energy is right again. And actually that sounds like it would be fun, wouldn't it? Fairies and unicorns and dragons and mermaids and so on. And I guess I was saying I needed to have more fun, so maybe it's exactly what I'm needing right now. All right, so here are the decks from today's spread. And wow, the tarot deck was actually called the Joie de Vivre Tarot. I probably said that very wrong, but regardless, I'm pretty sure that expression translates to something like the joy of life or the joy of living. And that actually fits so well with that fifth dimensional experience that was in the future for the person in this reading. So great title, very aligned. The Oracle decks here are the Magical Times Empowerment cards, the Fairy Blessing cards, and the Oracle of the Wilder Ones. And these are all really beautiful decks, aren't they? And I'm just feeling like I really want to thank everyone who makes beautiful decks today. I know beautiful decks bring me a lot of happiness as a reader, so thank you to all the deck creators and artists out there. God bless you all. And just finishing up now, I would just like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this reading. If you enjoyed watching it, please show your support by liking the video, making a comment, or sharing the video, or by subscribing if you'd like to see more of my work in the future. If you do like my work, you can also watch some of the other videos that I've uploaded to the channel. I do new moon and full moon readings, but almost all of my other videos are intended to be timeless readings. If you're interested in supporting me on Facebook, that little thumbnail image on the right shows you what my blog page looks like. And I also want to say a big thank you to everyone who is already subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate your support as I keep growing the channel. It means a lot to know that there are people who do want to see more of my work. And that's it, everyone. I hope that I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye.